President number 31, Herbert Hoover, 1929 to 1933, a Republican. Mr. Hoover was orphaned at a young age in Iowa and taken in by relatives in California. He's our only president born in Iowa, and he was the first president born west of the Mississippi River. He graduated with an engineering degree from Stanford University in their very first graduating class of 1895. He built an international mining empire, and he was a millionaire by age 40. But he also loved public service. In 1914, while living in England, President Wilson called upon him to handle the food relief for the Europeans decimated by World War I. He also played a key role in the peace negotiations following the end of the war. Mr. Hoover served as Secretary of Commerce to both Presidents Harding and Coolidge. And when elected president in 1928, it was his first election since being class treasurer back in Stanford. He was given the oath of office by former President Taft, who is now the Chief Justice of the United States in 1929. And as president, Mr. Hoover had the first to hire an executive staff and the first to have a phone on his desk rather than in a booth next door in another office. In the early 1900s, while he lived in China as a mining executive, him and his wife learned Mandarin Chinese. And they used it to speak in front of other people when they didn't want them to know what they were saying. So him and his wife would speak Chinese in front of others, so the others had no clue what was going on. He never wanted to see his staff. In fact, they had to hide in closets when he was walking down the hallway, or outside, the groundskeepers had to jump behind bushes because they were afraid they'd be fired if they were seen. Crazy. He did get his exercise in the White House by doing a thing he created called Hoover Ball, where he got a big ball that was quite weighted, very heavy, and he would throw it to other staff members and White House personnel. His son had 2 pet alligators that he kept in a pond on the White House lawn. Mr. Hoover received more than 50 honorary degrees from American universities and more than 25 honorary degrees from foreign universities, making him the president by far with the most honorary doctorates of any U.S. president. Now, less than 9 months into his presidency, the economy collapsed in October of 1929, and the Great Depression began. And he made no new policies to combat the issue. In fact, he asked just American businesses to volunteer to figure things out. Well, none of this worked. So many people were out of work, they were out of their homes, that they ended up living in shacks and tents that they dubbed Hooterville, dubiously in honor of the president. In 1932, World War I veterans marched on Washington, D.C. to demand early payment of promised bonuses. Hoover reacted by sending in the U.S. Army to stop them. This sealed his defeat for re-election in 1932. However, in 1958, at the age of 84, Herbert Hoover received a Pulitzer Prize for writing a book about President Wilson. Number 31, Herbert Hoover.